What's going on, guys? Welcome back to an esports edition of our free DFS content at Fantasy Sports Insight. We are back in the ESL Pro League. I know the slates are getting bigger. We're getting our teams back that we love to play. But one thing that also excites me that I'm going to talk about on this one as well is our overnight slate, where we do find quite a bit of an edge with just less people playing or just throwing together some lineups. So I will be covering the slate that locks tonight at 1 a.m. Central and the main slate. So let's jump into it right now. I'm going to share my screen with you per usual. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. It is a huge help to us at Fantasy Sports Insight. To reach our goals and to continue to provide free content for everybody. So we are going to be looking at the odds here first, if I can move this. So our overnight matchups, we have one from the Oceania League and then one from the Asia League. So we have the Renegades are minus 1,200 against the Chiefs Esports Club. 1,200. You bet $1,200 to win $100. And then we have Tai Lu, who is minus 1,600 against Beyond. So we have two just massive favorites. Now, saying that doesn't necessarily mean that the builds are always going to be easy. We'll take a look at the pricing here. But what I am going to do, and if you are new to doing some of your research with HLTV, this is the process that I use. I'm going to click on the Renegades. And then what I like to do is go to stats. We're going to go to all stats for the Renegades. And if you are somebody who's watched my videos before, you have seen me use this process. So we're going to click replace context with lineup. And then we click players. Now what this does is it allows us to get the data for just the players that we are working with that have played together in this lineup. Now, if you want to get more specific, you can go to certain maps. So I know some of the guys like over at Scott, or not Scott, I blank his name, but we have people that do a lot of map predicting. Sean, I don't know why I thought that. Sean Mitchell at Fantasy Alarm does a lot of diving into the maps. So if you can predict the maps and then you want to filter this by the maps, that's going to give you even more precise data. Right now, I'm going to look at it just from a broader scheme. Dexter, INS, and I think it's Sicko or Psycho are the three clear top plays on their team. This is giving you the kill the death differential over 77 maps. Now, I'm not saying that Hats and Malta are not in play, because we're going to have to look at pricing. And at the odds for both of the teams, we're expecting sweeps. So I would certainly try to build a 3-3 lineup. I don't think one-offs will pay off here, as they are such big favorites. And then I'm going to do the same for Tai Lu. Tai Lu's like lead fragger, fragger as in somebody who provides the most kills, has changed quite a bit. For a while, Danking was just always the most expensive player on DraftKings, and then slowly was, and then now we'll take a look at the pricing, but Attacker has been really bumping up in the ranks. But as you can see, this team is way more balanced. So I think looking at pricing, it's easier to pay for the cheapest of this group when we get back to the builder than to really have to try to shove in someone like Danking or Slowly. So let's get into the pricing. Let's see what we can do. It's pretty clear. I mean, this is pretty amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The top 10 players that are priced are between those two games. And that is both of their whole entire teams. Wow, that is amazing. So this is something new. And I didn't even look at the pricing before I dove into this. But theoretically, if you use somebody like Summer at captain, you're still only leaving yourself with 7,700. I mean, you can't even build with. So my theory of doing 3-3 stack is off the board, because it doesn't even allow you to do that. So I think what you're going to look at next is who is going to be the cheapest viable option that could potentially pay off somewhat of their salary. Now, from playing other slates and knowing the teams, someone like QQ God is one of Beyond's better players, along with Olivia. Now, 6,000 seems like way too much to pay when I can pay for someone like QQ God for 4,600. KNTZ has been viable as well. Let's just take a look. I want to look at the Chiefs here. This is going to be interesting. Now, I think you are going to see a lot of 3-2-1 builds, but I don't know that there's going to be an obvious one-off. But I do think using somebody at like 4,000 or 4,600 is going to allow you to get back up to where you want. So let's just take a look. Now, I don't think the Chiefs this group has played together a ton, so we might not have a lot of data. But ONFU 6'6", so Soj UJ looks decent, and same with Yam. So let's see what we have in here. We're looking for the best loser. So look at 10 maps. I mean, we're not going to get much data at all out of this. So these guys have played together 10 maps. Oh, not even. They played together 1 map. But let's look at somebody like Soju. So all time, he's got less than a 1.0 kill to death ratio, but in the last 3 months, he's sporting a 1.06. Let's look at what is Yam's pricing? 5,400. A little bit more expensive than I want. And he's not even listed here. So let's look at Zeph or Zeef. All time, he's actually better, 1.04. In the last 3 months, 0.94. Let's take a quick look back at Beyond. So on the Beyond side, like I said, I am almost certain that that Olivia and QQ God are going to be 2 of their top fraggers. QQ God does have a high death rate, but does kill quite often. It looks like KNTZ is pretty viable as well. But I do believe this group has played together quite a bit, so we can get some data here. But they, have lost 3 straight. Let's replace the context. Yeah, we got 81 map sample here, which is pretty solid. 69 map. Okay. So we have Olivia, like I said, is clearly the top, and then we have QQ God and KNTZ. So if the difference is that small, and then we go back to our builder, 4,600 to 5,200, I think, the discount will, let's just put in QQ God and just see where that goes. And then let's put in Summer as the bottom fragger. Okay, now you can work with this. You still don't have that much room to work with. I mean, if you go somebody, and as I mentioned before, and slowly, then, you still need another. The problem with going with this is that you're not getting to a second Renegades top play. You're 100 short of Sicko or Psycho. So I think you're just going to really need to prioritize maybe even going cheaper than QQ God and just hoping for the best that somebody doesn't just get run over. So the Soju player would allow you to get up to Sicko as your last player in. Again, not an ideal slate, but I think it will be interesting to see how people build. Okay, let's move on to the slate that more people will be playing, where we get our Europe teams. We have NIP. Ninja is in pajamas, are plus 120 against Navi, who is minus 160. And then Heroic, who is favored over Fnatic. Pretty crazy to say that. And then our last game will be Furia, favored minus 195 against 100 Thieves. So on this slate, Simple is almost always a lock for me on any slate in cash. So I would definitely lock him in as well. What I do like to look for is Electronic as the next player in for Navi. Now at 8,800 is way too expensive, in my opinion. considering the fact that normally we would get him like low sevens, mid sevens. I know the pricing has been obviously a lot more aggressive, but it makes it really tough to get to electronic here. So I do like simple quite a bit for Navi. Other Navi pieces, they get really bad after electronic and simple. And it's not really any surprise. They're less balanced than Vitality with Zaiwu, which is pretty incredible. Zaiwu at least lets like Shocks and RPK, have some decent games. But when we look at Navi here, it might even electronic is probably positive now, but there was a long time there where in their sample size as a team that Simple was the only player with a positive kill to death ratio. And we'll look here, and it looks like, electronic and simple, and then it drops off quite a bit for Boomich and Flamey and Perfecto. Now, if you want to punt with one of them, go ahead. I can't really tell you which one I like better. Probably Boomich, maybe. I don't know. It's really close. Maybe Flamey. Flamey's got this, apparently, according to that, the best data, but he's also probably killing a lot less. I think sometimes you have to remember you will take a trade, like a 1 kill, 1 death is something that you will take more than no kill, no death. We next, so they are minus 160, Heroic at minus 155. Now I can't say I'm like totally sold on the fact that they are having Heroic being favored here. I know Heroic played, I think here against Fnatic not too long ago, 820. Let's move to that game quick. But brawling at 8K is pretty nice. Sometimes I get caught in I'm just a non-believer of teams that always weren't that good, or they were always underdogs like Heroic against somebody who just has the name value of Fnatic. But I do think it is definitely worth just taking a closer look. And that is one that you definitely could see potentially the odds move and the line move throughout the day. So let's just take a quick peek here. So in their most recent performances, that was Heretics, not Heroic. But they did lose to Heroic here, 1-2. Heroic has beat FaZe, they lost to G2, and they lost to Big. But overall, Heroic has been playing really well. Now, saying that doesn't mean that I'm just going to totally fade one of the best CSGO players in the world in Brawlin. I don't think that this is one that you just clearly stack the Heroic side. But I do like the prices here are pretty nice. Staven 8,400, Cadian 7,800, Nico 7,400, and Tessus 7K. I will not be considering Borup. But on the Fnatic side, I do like Brawlin. And then Crimson Flusha are really cheap. So I think this is actually going to be a really popular GPP stack, is taking those top 3 just for the price tags. It'll allow you to let a lot fit. For me personally, I don't have a strong take on either side, so I might be just one-offing with someone like Brawlin and Crims, or taking 2. Sorry. The Furia is going to be our other big favorite here, and I think you definitely lock in KS Arado tomorrow. 8,200 is way too cheap. We know that these 3 just flip-flop in terms of pricing. When we have a $1,200 gap between Henny and KS Arado, then that makes it pretty easy to plug in KS Arado. I think Yuri will be a popular part of people's builds as well. And even if you do go something like KS Arado, now you likely would have to punt maybe with somebody at Navi. And maybe this isn't a way you can go with simple. People might go simple captain as well, which does definitely limit your builds a little bit. But he obviously has the most upside and the highest floor. So my 2 core plays are going to be Simple and KS Arado, and then probably looking at another Furia piece, and then potentially somebody like Flusha and Crims and or Brawlin for Fnatic. Well, I hope this video helps you start your builds for tonight, which is going to be just crazy that you realistically can't play a 3-3 stack with the favorites. I think this might be the first slate that you cannot do that. And then a nice 3-game slate. And then we'll finish out with a showdown to end the day. Again, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate you guys listening. Like, share, subscribe, tweet it out. I'll tweet it out, retweet me. It's greatly appreciated and helps us build as a YouTube channel in order to continue to provide free content for everybody. If you want any of our premium content, feel free to go to our website at fsidfs.com and make sure you check out our premium subscriptions. All right.